Have you ever climbed so high in life, only to realize you left the most important parts of yourself at the bottom? This is the story of a woman who turned poverty into success, but almost lost everything that truly mattered while trying to outrun the memory of where she came from. Her name was Amara Benson, 38 years old, a senior executive at one of Lagos's biggest investment firms. Sharp, stylish, intimidatingly competent, people called her the woman who never fails. But they didn't know the whole truth. Amara wasn't just successful. She was running from something. Growing up, she was the girl who patched her school uniform with safety pins. The girl who hid her shoes behind the classroom so classmates wouldn't see the holes. The girl who studied under market lights when power went out. She clawed her way out of poverty with grit, discipline, and stubborn ambition. But with success came something she didn't expect. Fear. Fear of ever going back to where she came from. So she spent money like she was buying distance from her past. Designer bags, business class flights, penthouse apartment, latest phones, luxury skincare worth a month's salary. Every promotion came with a new purchase, as if success only counted when people saw it. Everyone admired her, except for one person, her younger sister, Chioma. One evening, Chioma visited Amara's penthouse. She stood still for a long moment, looking around. "Amara, this place is beautiful," she whispered. "But, are you happy?" Amara laughed sharply. "Happy? Chioma, I worked for this life." "Yes," Chioma said softly. "But you're always tired, always stressed, and always trying to prove something." Amara rolled her eyes. "Don't start." Chioma hesitated, then continued. "You keep buying things, thinking money will silence the fear. But it doesn't. It just hides it." Amara snapped. "Chioma, leave my finances to me. You don't know what it took to get here." Chioma sighed. "You're right. I don't. But I know you're afraid. And fear is the most expensive habit anyone can have." Amara turned away. Conversation over. Or so she thought. 2 weeks later, Amara received a call. From an unknown number. She almost ignored it, until she heard the voice on the other end. "Hello, Ma. This is from City Hospital. Your sister, Chioma. We need you to come immediately." Amara's world froze. She rushed out, heels clicking violently across the marble floor. At the hospital, she found Chioma on a bed, weak, pale, breathing heavily. Food poisoning. Severe. Amara's breath shook. "Why didn't you call me earlier?" she asked, voice cracking. Chioma gave a tired smile. "I didn't want to disturb you." Those words stabbed deeper than any insult. Amara sat beside her, guilt flooding her. "I'm here now," she whispered. Chioma nodded, eyes glassy. "You work so hard, but I just wish you'd slow down. Money can fix many things, Amara, but not everything." Her voice faded. Those words replayed in Amara's mind, again and again, as she stayed beside her sister through the night. While Chioma slept, Amara opened her sister's bag to put away her phone. Inside, she found a small, folded paper. Curious, she opened it. It was a list. A list titled, "Things I Miss About My Sister." Her hands trembled. How she used to laugh. How she cooked noodles for me when Mom had nothing. How she saved her last coin to help me register for WAEC. How she promised she would always be there, no matter how successful she became. How she used to say love didn't need money. Tears slipped down Amara's face. She pressed her hand against her mouth to stop the sobs. She realized something devastating. She had spent years trying not to be poor, and in the process, she had become emotionally bankrupt. The next morning, Amara made a decision, a life-altering one. She walked into her office, stood before her glass desk, and exhaled deeply. For the first time in years, she closed her laptop before opening it. She went straight to HR. "I need to reduce my workload," she said firmly. "No more 16-hour days. No more every weekend projects. And cancel all my unnecessary lifestyle deductions. I'm restructuring my life." The HR manager blinked. "Are you sure?" Amara nodded. For the first time, yes. She left work early. She went home. But the penthouse felt different. Empty. Echoing. She walked to the window overlooking the city and whispered to herself, "I thought success was about the life I could afford. But real success is the life I can enjoy." That evening, she cooked Chioma's favorite meal. For the first time in years, they ate together, laughing weakly but genuinely. Amara didn't buy anything new that month. Instead, she bought time. Time with family. Time for health. Time for peace. And for the first time in her life, she felt rich. You can spend your whole life running from your past. But money doesn't heal fear. It only hides it. And sometimes, the people you love don't need your success. They need your presence. The following weeks brought a quiet shift in Amara's life. Not loud, not dramatic, but unmistakable. For the first time in years, she woke up without an alarm. She made breakfast in her own kitchen, a space she used to only walk through on her way to work. She called her sister more. She spent evenings sitting on the balcony, watching the city lights instead of chasing them. But life has a way of testing every change. And Amara's test came sooner than expected. One Thursday morning, as she walked into her office, calmer than usual, her phone rang. "Ma, this is your account officer. We need to discuss your spending patterns." Amara's brows knitted. "Is something wrong?" "There have been irregularities." Irregularities? She went pale. Just months ago, she never questioned her spending, because she always had enough coming in. But now, with fewer overtime hours, fewer bonuses, and fewer performance incentives, the numbers didn't add up like they used to. Amara ended the call with a stiff nod and sat at her desk. Her heart pounded. For the first time since her success, she felt a familiar, unwelcome whisper. Fear. The same fear she thought she had escaped years ago. That afternoon, she met with a financial consultant her friend recommended. A calm, intelligent, soft-spoken woman named Mrs. Inwer. After reviewing Amara's statements, the analyst looked up slowly. "Amara, do you know how much you spend monthly?" "Yes," she said confidently. But the woman shook her head. "No. You know your lifestyle, not your numbers." She slid a tablet across the table. Amara's breath caught in her throat. Designer clothes, 1.3 million Nigerian nairas. Luxury skincare, 420,000 Nigerian nairas. Penthouse rent and utilities, unbelievable. Food deliveries, shocking. Random splurges labeled self-care, painful. Then came the hardest part. "Amara, your spending isn't financial. It's emotional." Amara stiffened. Mrs. Inwer continued. "You're not buying things because you need them. You're buying them because you're afraid of losing the life you fought for." A tear slipped out, completely by accident. "You've been spending to erase your past, not to build your future." Those words broke something open inside her. Just as she left the financial consultant's office, her phone rang. Again. "Amara, it's Chioma." She collapsed outside the house. Amara ran, heels in her hands, pushing through the evening crowd as her chest tightened painfully. When she reached the house, Chioma was on the ground, breathing hard, barely conscious. Amara dropped to her knees.
Chioma, talk to me.
Chioma opened her eyes weakly. I didn't want to worry you, she whispered. Something snapped inside Amara. She looked around. And suddenly she saw herself, years ago, lying outside their old house, exhausted and hungry, with no one to help. She vowed back then she would never let her sister suffer again. Yet here they were. History repeating itself. Amara lifted Chioma into her arms, tears streaming. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
At the hospital, the doctor approached with a serious expression. Stress, improper meals, overworking, she's not taking care of herself. Amara whispered, Why didn't she tell me? The doctor sighed. People hide their struggles from those who look too busy to listen. That sentence hit Amara harder than any financial loss. Back home, after settling Chioma, Amara walked into her bedroom and found a small brown envelope on her pillow. Her name was written on it, in Chioma's handwriting. My dearest sister, I know you love me. I know you work hard. But I miss you. I miss the girl who used to dream with me. I miss the sister who held my hand during storms. I miss the version of you who wasn't afraid to sit still. You escaped poverty, Amara, but not the fear of returning to it. And this fear is costing you more than money. It's costing you you. If all your success disappears tomorrow, I won't be ashamed. I'll still love you. But if you lose yourself trying to impress a world that doesn't know your story, I don't know if I can get my sister back. Please, come home to yourself. By the time she reached the last sentence, the paper was soaked with tears. That night, Amara sat alone with the letter on her lap. Her penthouse suddenly looked unfamiliar, cold, like a cage made of receipts and expectations. She whispered to the empty room, All this time, I thought wealth would heal me, but it only hid my wounds. The next morning, she made a decision that shocked even her. She packed a suitcase, not to move houses, but to move out of her old life. She needed a reset, a rebirth, a new chapter built on intention, not fear. But what she didn't know was, her journey was about to take an unexpected turn, a twist tied to someone from her past, someone she hadn't heard from in over 17 years. Someone who would challenge everything she thought she knew about success, money, and identity. There's a moment in every successful person's life when the truth finally catches up with them. For Amara, that moment came on a quiet Sunday morning, at the most unexpected time. She was sitting alone in her living room, receipts scattered across the coffee table like fallen leaves. But she ignored it, like she always did. Instead, her mind kept replaying her brother Tobe's voice. You're living a risk-free life in your mind, but not in reality. She hated that it sounded true. Amara leaned back and stared at the ceiling. How did she, a woman who fought tooth and nail through school, who worked 3 jobs just to pay tuition, who walked long distances to her internship because she couldn't afford transport, turn into someone who bought things she didn't need, to impress people who didn't care? She whispered to herself, When did I lose balance? Then her phone rang. It was the last person she expected. Her landlord. Madam Amara. I hope all is well. Oh, that building we discussed. The owner says if you're still interested, you need to make the deposit before Friday. After that, it's gone. A cold silence filled the room. The building. Her dream building. A 6-unit property she had prayed for, saved for, planned her future around. Amara swallowed hard. She could afford it. If she hadn't spent almost half her savings within months, trying to reward herself. She forced a smile into the phone. "I'll get back to you shortly." But when she hung up, her hands started shaking. She walked slowly to her bedroom drawer, the one she hadn't opened in years. Inside was a small brown envelope. Her childhood savings. Back when she was poor, but disciplined, focused, hungry. She remembered the day she graduated. "Success is not when you rise, my daughter. It's when you rise and stay risen." Amara felt a sting behind her eyes. She realized something painful but true. She had climbed the mountain, only to start slipping down the other side, because she refused to let go of the very habits she once despised: lack of planning, emotional spending, and trying to escape stress with purchases. She covered her face with both hands. For the first time in years, Amara sobbed, not because of poverty, but because of mismanagement, not because she didn't earn enough, but because she didn't protect what she earned. Her own reflection scared her. She stood up, wiped her tears, and did something she hadn't done in a long time. She picked up a pen and created a plan, not to punish herself, but to free herself. She wrote, "Reset spending for 90 days, no emotional purchases, separate automated investment account, emergency fund, rebuild, financial therapist for emotional spending, dream property, target date set." She wasn't starting over. She was starting right. Then she whispered, "I'm done living for the world. It's time to live for the woman I promised myself I'd become." And for the first time in months, she felt something that no handbag, no weekend trip, and no expensive perfume had given her: peace. The journey wasn't finished. But Amara finally took control of the steering wheel again. A week later, something unexpected happened. Amara received another call. This time from her landlord again. "Madam, that building. Someone else pulled out. If you can secure the deposit, it's yours." Her heart jumped. Just 1 week earlier, she would have panicked. But this time, she didn't. She checked her newly organized finances. And for the first time in months, she saw clarity, not chaos. With discipline, she had already recovered enough to lock in the first payment, because she cut out the noise and focused on what truly mattered. She took a deep breath and smiled. "I'll send it today." As she walked out of the bank, receipt in hand, she didn't feel excitement. She felt growth. Because the real victory wasn't buying the property. It was regaining control of her life. Later that evening, she sent her brother a voice note. "Tobe, thank you. I didn't realize I was spending to silence my stress. But now I know, peace is cheaper than impulse, and discipline pays better than salary." He replied with 4 words. "Welcome back, Amara." In life, success doesn't demand perfection. It demands awareness. You can work hard, earn well, and still lose your way. If your emotions manage your money instead of your values. Amara learned that wealth isn't what you buy. It's what you keep. And peace isn't found in possessions. It's found in purposeful living. Because at the end of the day, money is a tool. But discipline is the hand that holds it. Like, share and follow for more.